Welcome, welcome. You are here with the Empress of Fortune. We are going to do a timeless tarot reading today, and this is what do you need to heal? So no matter what time you come and see this video, no matter how long after I've posted it, you can intuitively choose the pile that is the best for you, and that is going to hopefully give you the answers or confirmation of what you are looking for. We've got 3 different tarot piles here today. I am going to be using some other oracle cards as well, but for those of you who love to know the names of the decks that we use, I am going to list them down in the description box below, but I'll also tell them to you now. For pile 1, we're going to be using the Tarot del Fuego. That's right here. Pile 2, we're going to be using the Inner Child cards of Fairy Tale Tarot here. And then for pile 3, this is the Hermetic Tarot. So use your intuition to choose the pile that is best for you. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to make that choice, and you can click the timestamps below to fast forward into your pile. Welcome to all of you who chose pile 1 with the Tarot del Fuego. The way that this reading is going to go is we're actually going to use a few different decks. I've already pre-pulled and pre-prepared the cards for you. So the first deck that we're going to use is going to be actually an emotions deck. This is not like a traditional divination deck, I guess you would say, but I think it's really going to be very helpful for you to kind of confront some emotions that you maybe need to heal. Then the second deck we're going to be using is going to be your Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. That's going to help you know which chakra you need to heal or which chakra you should focus on. Finally, before we go into the tarot cards, we're going to be looking at what's called the Wild Offering Oracle, and that is going to help you to get a guiding message as to how you can move forward. But first, the very first thing that I always do with my readings is we're going to use my handy dandy bowl here, and we're actually going to get some identifiers, and that's going to let you know if this pile is in fact for you. So some of the things that you see here, pile 1, we're looking for the people in pile 1. Some of the things you see here should be familiar to you. They should be significant to you in some way. That doesn't mean every single one of them is going to be, but at least one of them should resonate for you. And that will let you know that this is your pile. Pile 1, you've chosen the Tarot del Fuego. Is there anybody else? Any other identifiers for pile 1? All right. So we have here 1894 by Amber Mark. That is a song. Amber Mark is kind of like an R&B artist. We have Heart of Dixie. That's a TV show, and I have a little RB up here in the corner. That is actually making me think of Arby's, like the fast food restaurant. So maybe you ate Arby's recently, but that RB could be somebody's initials, but it also stands for Rachel Bilson. She's the lead actress on that show, Heart of Dixie. We've got, oh, this one's kind of tough to open. All right, we've got quarter. So I opened this identifier on my TikTok, and I was like, that's so weird. You know, I don't know why I put some of these slips in the bowl. Somebody said that they found a quarter in their dryer or something. So that was how she knew that the reading was for her, because she'd found a quarter that day. So maybe that's for you. It also makes me think of the French Quarter in New Orleans. Maybe like your school is on a quarter system. Maybe you're looking into business and you do like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. It could be really anything but quarter. We have ballet slippers. So you could be really into ballet, but this is also the name of a nail polish color by OPI. Interesting. So some of these I definitely have seen before. If you guys follow me on TikTok at all, then you'll know. But it's the same username, Empress of Fortune. We have lobster here. That always makes me think of Friends, where they're like, you're my lobster. I've actually never really seen Friends in its entirety, so I don't really know what that means, but people talk about it a lot. Maybe you ate lobster, maybe you had like a lobster roll, maybe you live in Maine. I don't know. It could be anything. Ruffles, that could be chips. It could be fabric. So maybe you really like Ruffles chips, or you have like a ruffled shirt or skirt or something. Pant. We have Nick Miller here from New Girl. Interesting. All right. He's a character. New Girl is a TV show. That character is played by, I want to say his name is like Jake Johnson, I think. JJ could be significant initials as well. We have West Africa, and I wrote on here Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin. Maybe you're traveling there, maybe you're from there, maybe you have some ancestry from there. This is the number 7, so that could be your lucky number. It could be the month of July. It could be that you were born on the 7th. Maybe it's like 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. or something where you are. Lemongrass. Interesting. If that's for you, you'll know it. All right, we have Jamaica. Interesting. We've got a lot of countries here today. Jamaica. So kind of same as what I was talking about with West Africa. Maybe you're going on a trip to Jamaica, or maybe you have family from there. Or you could have like a vacation home in Jamaica or something, or you dream of retiring to Jamaica. We have road trip. Maybe you're planning on going on a road trip. Or maybe you just got back from one. Peanut butter and jelly. Okay, could have eaten one. Maybe you heard somebody say peanut butter and jelly earlier or something. I know sometimes people say like jelly instead of jealous. We have romance novel. All right, maybe you really like romance novels. Maybe you like to read them. Maybe you write them. I don't know. It could be anything. So these are our identifiers for pile 1. If you chose Tierra del Fuego, if some of these or even just one of them is significant for you, then that means that this is your pile. If you don't feel like any of these resonated with you, feel free to, sorry about that, I just knocked my table. Feel free to pick another pile. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward. All right, we're going to get into the kind of pre-pull that I did, and let's explore the emotions that you need to heal. So first we have proud, then we have sad. This is definitely interesting because they do seem like kind of two opposing emotions. This proud card says, I feel a wave of enthusiasm for my achievements. But then we have this sad card right here. So immediately what I'm thinking about is how when we reach a goal, sometimes we can be proud of reaching that goal, but we might not know exactly where to go next after we've reached that goal. So it might actually kind of leave us with a little bit of sadness. It's making me think of kind of like graduation goggles. It is actually graduation time, at least here in the United States it is. So you might be sad to be like moving on to something new, sad to be moving away from something that you really enjoyed and something that made you feel proud of yourself. Another thing that I'm thinking of is like sometimes when we get in a mood, so to speak, like when we're, kind of wallowing in sadness, we can actually kind of like take pride in it. I know that like it sounds a little bit weird, but if you've been there, you understand what I mean. You might be like, okay, well, like I'm the sad girl or I'm the sad guy. Like that's who I am, and like nobody's gonna cheer me up, and like you wear that almost as like a badge of honor sometimes. And you're kind of just like, everything's messed up, but you know what, like that's just who I am. And so sometimes people really enjoy being sad. That's why they have like the misery loves company saying. So I don't know, you could identify with either one of those things. We're gonna go into our chakras now. So these are some chakras that you need to heal or pay closer attention to. We've got the crown chakra here with creation. Interesting. That is definitely kind of giving off some similar vibes to the proud, like feeling a wave of enthusiasm for my achievements. If you've created something, you're usually pretty proud that you created it. You might also be feeling a little bit sad because you feel like you can't create what it is that you want to create. So that might be why you have to heal your crown chakra here. And it's like your connection to oneness and all that there is. We have the sacral chakra here with guilt. that is definitely giving me those sad vibes as well. This deck, this Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, each of these cards has like a little story that goes along with it. So if I feel the need to read the story, I will. But from what I remember of this guilt card, this girl here, I don't remember what her name is. She like started a business or something, and her friend was like having tough times, and so she like lets her friend go into the business with her. She doesn't necessarily like invite her into the business, but I guess her friend kind of invites herself, and she ends up doing all the work, and the friend is like not really doing anything, and the main girl kind of like wants to dissolve the business, and the friend is like, well, I should get half because, you know, like you let me do this with you. Meanwhile, the main girl like created the business, did all the work herself, and only kind of just like let the other girl in because she felt bad for her. I don't know. So she feels kind of guilty. That's what I remember from the story. Finally, we have Quest. This is the throat chakra. Yeah, I'm really getting that vibe of like, you don't really know what's next. And you also can't really say necessarily what it is that you want to do for what's next. So healing your throat chakra is actually going to be really helpful for that, because you're going to be able to verbalize what it is that you want, and which path you want to go down. And this is like really giving me that graduation vibe right now. So if you graduated, congratulations. I'm super excited for you. Even if you're not, you know, in school, or maybe you haven't graduated, but you're, you know, just taking the summer to do something different, new, or interesting. This is always a good time to like find out who you are, find out what you want to do. This card is like making me think. It has kind of like these marshes. I don't know if you guys can see this. It has like these marshes and stuff right here. It makes me think of the beach. And whenever I think of the beach, not all the time, but sometimes I think of, you know, like those novels. They're not always like a little like young adult novel. Sometimes they're regular adult novels, but it makes me think of those books or movies where somebody like goes to the beach to heal and to like find themselves. Most recently, I watched like this movie like Chick Fight. I watched this other movie Along for the Ride, both of which are like in beach towns. Yeah, interesting how that comes up. And then we have these two cards here, which are supposed to be some guidance for you. I'm going to get our tarot. After that, we're going to go into the Tarot del Fuego, but let's read this guidance here from the Wild Offering Oracle. First, we have work. I am now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. I definitely am feeling like with work and creation here, and also quest. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this. So in the movie Along for the Ride, there's this whole like theme of them going on a quest together. Like the main girl and the main guy, they're like going on a quest together. So I didn't even think about that, but if you've seen the movie, you know. But yeah, with work, this is really making me think about like, you are trying to figure out like how you can make the world a better place through your work, and how your work can be really meaningful. And maybe you haven't found that yet. Maybe you know, have a job that isn't fulfilling to you. Maybe you feel like you're a creative person, but you're not entirely sure how to go after what you want to do without feeling guilty. Like maybe there are other people who are kind of expecting something from you, or who are depending on you in certain ways, and so you feel kind of guilty by going after the work that you really want to do, but you're just kind of hoping that the people who need you will not only accept this and be proud of you, but also may all who need me find me. So this is kind of just telling you like, trust in the divine. This whole deck is about letting go and kind of like giving it all to the divine. So we have aging. Interesting. Aging here. Immediately, again, I'm still thinking about like that moving on from one stage or one part of your life into another part of your life, and kind of like not only the graduation goggles again, but like the idea of how whenever something ends, like one era ends and you're entering a new one, you always kind of feel like oh, I am getting older now, or like I'm not as young as I used to be, or like this is a whole new stage of my life. Like, what does that require from me, and who do I have to be in order to fit this new stage of my life, right? So, aging says, I am one with unlimited love, beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. Oh, that's beautiful. So even if you are getting older, we all are every single day, it doesn't mean that you need to be sad about that. And it also doesn't mean that like your time is running out to do the things that you want to do, in a grander sense, of course, yes, it is. But like in the truest sense, it's not. In the truest sense, like a lot of people who are successful didn't find success until later in their life. You don't have to be worried that like you're missing out on something, or if an end of an era has happened and like now all of a sudden you're older and like more is expected of you and people are trying to, guilt you into doing certain things, and you feel like you can't go on the quest of your heart or say what you want to say. Just know that like with maturity, yes, comes responsibility, but also there comes like a lot of freedom. So just be excited about that part. The freedom part that's coming for you is honestly probably going to be a lot more beautiful than anything that you could imagine, but that's only and especially if you speak your truth and you recognize like your oneness with the divine, and you're able to create what it is that you want to create through your work. So that's our first part of this first pile. I'm going to go ahead and get our tarot cards. I haven't decided if I want to clear this yet. I'm going to go ahead and leave them there. I'm going to leave those cards there. So we're going to use this Tarot del Fuego to clarify this message. Spirit, what is it that pile 1 needs to heal? What does pile 1 need to heal? I only take the cards that come out face up. There we go. See, as soon as you say it, ask and you shall receive. We have the Six of Cups here in reverse. I have the Devil here. These cards are a little busy, but I love them. Pile 1, what do they need to heal? We got the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. So immediately, immediately what I'm getting with this is that it's the idea of like not taking action, not taking organized action, and feeling trapped somewhere. Definitely like looking towards the past for sure, and kind of feeling trapped or paralyzed and not being able to move forward with a plan of action that you really feel like is right for you. We have the Empress in reverse, and we have the Knave of Pentacles. I think that's the Page of Pentacles in this deck. I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely positive. We'll find out. All right, so with those two cards here, the Empress and the Knave of Pentacles, what I'm thinking about is wanting, both of these cards are like sitting down. Both of them have these like very kind of like full bellies here. The Empress is always more of like a benevolent energy, but when it's in reverse, it's a lot about like not believing in yourself. Okay, we've gotten that message a couple times already. And then this Knave of Pentacles here, in reverse is always about like not always, but a lot of the time it's about not using your time properly, or just feeling like you're not, or like feeling like something's a waste of time. So yeah, absolutely. I think you need to heal your relationship with not only yourself, but with the idea of like, what is your time worth? What endeavors are worth your time? And how can you really like move forward towards what it is that your heart most wants to see you doing? Because whenever your heart wants to see you doing something, it's going to help you come up with a system to do it. And right now, like, you don't have a system for that. 5 of Cups here, we have disappointment. Yeah, that's with that sadness. Remember, we got this sad card right here. I definitely do feel like you're just kind of stuck in the past a little bit. You need to heal your relationship with the past. This Knave of Pentacles here being in reverse, like I said, something's like just not a good use of your time. And being stuck in the past, you have to learn how to move forward. So most of all, what you need to heal is going to be your relationship with time, because if you can't manage your time properly, like you have some time management skills, it could just be due to like useless daydreaming, but it could also just be due to like issues of being sad. It could be issues of being depressed. Maybe you don't like your work and so you like to waste a lot of time. Maybe you feel like, looking, it's also reminding me of like those graduation movies where people look back and they're like, oh my God, like I wasted my whole 4 years of high school being, the nerdy person or whatever. And like, I should have just gone to the party. That's a theme all the time. It's like, that was the theme in that movie Booksmart. It was that theme in that movie, like, I think it was called I Love You, Beth Cooper with Hayden Panettiere. That is a theme in a lot of movies. I want to say it was also a theme in like Can't Hardly Wait or something like that. Like this idea of like regretting stuff that you didn't do in the past. Well, like that time has gone. The time is over. You still have plenty of time in the future to do the things that you want to do. So like say what you need to say. That song by John Mayer. Say what you want to say and like go for the thing that you really, really want to do. But time management is like really what you need to heal. All right, I've got here the Star in reverse, the Lovers as well, upright. Yeah, you have a choice, and you may have lost hope recently. Maybe you're feeling like the thing that you want is like unattainable. It could be also maybe a person, but the thing that you want is unattainable, but it's not. It just is a matter of you speaking up about it. Oh my gosh, that theme, the graduation theme that I was just talking about is like that movie Along for the Ride too. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, it comes up so much. Anyway, if you haven't seen that movie Along for the Ride, it's on Netflix. It's also a book by Sarah Dessen. I actually liked the book better, but the movie was fantastic. The movie was a very good adaptation of the book. But the Lovers here is about a choice. Like, are you going to go with the traditional thing, or are you going to choose the thing that your heart really wants? So you have definitely to heal your relationship with your voice and with knowing what it is that you're looking for. Do not let feelings of guilt hold you back. And this is a time when, like, are you going to just go for what your family wants you to do, or are you going to go for what you really want to do? You only have one life. You only have one body. Time can be scary. It can feel very scary because it does just march on. That's true. But also, time is what you make of it. And when you master your relationship with time, you find that you actually have a lot more of it than you think that you do. All right, so I'm actually going to leave pile 1 there. I'll see if I can go into the identifiers that we had, our slips that we pulled, and I'll see if I can get any additional messages from those. We just had so many. Let's see what comes up. Ruffles is immediately making me think of those chips, and then also just like whimsy. I think you need to add like more whimsy to your life. And like if you want to eat something, eat it. It's okay. Nick Miller, he spent a lot of time in the first few seasons of that show, like looking back on a relationship that he had with this girl Caroline, and like regretting a lot of stuff that happened in it. But like she said to him, I wasn't sure that you like even loved me or liked me because like you never said it. And this card here, this throat chakra card here that we have, is all about saying what it is, like I said, that you need to say, like being vocal about the things that you want. So don't let time slip away when you need to say something to someone. If that person is your family, if that person is somebody that you have a crush on or that you love or whatever it may be, it's never worth it to hold something back. I think that we regret the things most of the time that we didn't say. If it was heavy on our heart, you should probably say it. Heart of Dixie here, if you haven't seen that show, it is about a New York City doctor who graduates from medical school and inherits a practice in a very small town in Alabama. And she like doesn't get the residency that she wants, And so she has to, maybe she graduates from her residency, I don't care, whatever. She doesn't get like the fellowship that she wants, and so she ends up having to go down to Alabama to work at the practice. And she starts a whole new life, meets a whole bunch of people, and like ends up loving the town. You know, at first it's kind of a struggle, but like she never would have imagined this. And I think that this goes to show, like, with the idea of aging and creation here, and then also work, may all who need me find me. Like, she decides to stay in the town. At first she didn't want to stay at all, but she decides to stay in the town because she really figures out, like, these people need her. You know, they need her in a very deep way, deep and primal way. They need her. And so the most unexpected opportunities can come up, but you have to be vocal about what it is that you want, and you have to go after the things that you want. And so, like, maybe choosing a non-traditional path like she did when she decided to stay in Alabama is actually going to be the thing that, like, your heart wants, you know. I have 1894 here by Amber Mark. She says in the song a couple of things, but she says, like, I'm a flex on the floor. So she's talking about dancing. I don't remember exactly why I brought that part up, but I don't know, maybe you really like to dance or something. Maybe dance is part of your passion. Sometimes, you know, a lot of parents might not necessarily be super supportive of people going after, like, creative endeavors, but you just kind of have to do what it is that you want to do. And, you know, your parents, of course, are important people in your life, but at the end of the day, like, your life is your own. So you kind of have to just do what you want to do. I think I'm going to leave it here. Maybe you are taking a road trip somewhere or something, like I said. I don't know why that just called out to me, but I'm going to leave this here. I'm actually thinking also about that movie, what was it called? Ticket to Paradise, with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, where their daughter, she graduates and she goes on a trip to Bali with her friend and ends up falling in love with, like, a Balinese Indonesian guy, and decides she just, like, wants to stay. And her parents are like, what? They were not having it at all. It was totally something, like, right out of a romance novel, but they were not having it at all. And, like, you know, eventually your parents, maybe they'll come around to whatever it is that you want to do, but you just have to speak your mind. Tell them, like, this is my quest, this is the journey that I'm going on, like, I want to create this, and you're not going to guilt me into whatever it is that you want me to do. Like, I have to choose my own path here with the lovers. So yeah, I hope that this resonated with you. If you made it all the way to the end of the reading, you can drop a little crystal ball emoji down in the comments. If you just graduated, like I said, congratulations. But of course, this doesn't have to be like a just graduated type of situation. It could be, like I said, the end of an era of any kind. But if you feel like sharing with the collective what it is that you're going through, go ahead and drop a comment down below, and I love to read them. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye. Welcome to pile 2. If you chose the Fairy Tale Tarot, the Inner Child cards, then that means that this is going to be your reading. First things first, I'm going to grab my handy dandy little bowl of identifiers, and we're going to see if any of these resonate for you. So Spirit, benevolent guides and angels, please help us find the people who are in pile 2 through these identifiers. Some of them should resonate for you. It could be just one. There should be some sort of significance for you with these identifiers. Who are the people in pile 2? Pile 2. Who chose the Fairy Tale Tarot cards? Anybody else? All right. Awesome. So let's see. Who do we have here? We've got Gimme Something Real by Ashford and Simpson. That is a song from, I want to say, the 70s. Famous Last Words. Maybe you heard somebody say that today or recently. The number 6. So that could be June. That could be like a date, an important date on the 6th. It's making me also think of 6th grade, although Nobody here needs to be in 6th grade at all. At all. Real Love by Mary J. Blige. Ooh, interesting. Give me something real and real love. That's an R&B song. International. Interesting. Making me think about international school. Or being like an international student. We Used to Be Friends. The Dandy Warhols. That's a song that is also the theme song for Veronica Mars. Fun fact. So maybe you know the song, or maybe you like Veronica Mars or something like that. Las Vegas. Ooh, fun. Maybe you are from Las Vegas. Maybe you're going to Las Vegas sometime soon. Something to do with Vegas. We have Sookie Stackhouse here. She is the main character in the True Blood series on HBO, and there are like 13 books that show is based off of, the Sookie Stackhouse Southern vampire novels. So if you're familiar, that series is by Charlaine Harris. We've got God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You by NSYNC. Interesting. That is making me also think about Sookie Stackhouse, just because she has like a little something extra special that like makes all the vampires really like her. 12/12. This is written as a time, but it could also be a date, December 12th. Interesting. 12 people on a jury. I don't know why that just came up to my mind. We have Drew Barrymore by SZA. That's a song. She's like, is it warm enough for you outside, baby? That's a good song. I like that. Is it warm enough for you inside me? I'm not going to sing on here, you guys. I do have a voice. I can sing, but I'm not going to sing right now. American Horror Story Season 1, specifically Murder House. You might like that show. Maybe you've seen American Horror Story recently. It doesn't have to be the Murder House season, but if you know, you know. Piano. We have piano here, so you could be a piano player. Maybe you like went to a piano bar or something recently. The London, that's a song by Young Thug, J. Cole, and I don't remember who the other person is. And then also it's just London. I have the in parentheses. So maybe you're like planning a trip to London. Maybe you live in London. Maybe you're an international student in London, or maybe you're planning to be or thinking about it or something like that. Chateau Marmont in Hollywood. That is, I'm sorry guys if you can hear my dog. He's like whining in the background. He wants me to play with him. Chateau Marmont is a bar, and I believe it's also a hotel. I think that like some kind of scary stuff has happened there. I'm not entirely sure. Rooftop pool. Maybe Chateau Marmont has a rooftop pool. Maybe you went to a rooftop pool recently. Yeah, that sounds fun. Maybe you're planning to go to a rooftop pool sometime. It is about to be summer. It's about to be Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. We have Haterade. Interesting. Maybe you heard somebody say some hater type-ish the other day or today. Maybe somebody's just being a hater and you overheard it. They were sipping on that Haterade. And then we have Good by Better Than Ezra. That's a song. They were like, it was good living with you. It was good. All right. So those are our identifiers for pile 2. At least one of those should resonate or be significant to you somehow. If not, then this could still be your pile, but feel free to check the other piles as well. I'm going to go ahead and clear the table, and we're going to get our cards out. All right, guys, we've got our cards here. I'm going to go with some emotion cards first, then we'll do your chakra cards. Finally, we have some guidance from the Wild Offering Oracle. So let's see, what do you need to heal right now? Emotions are forgiving. We all make mistakes, and then mindful, aware of the present moment. So this is definitely talking about being a more forgiving person and recognizing that like we all make mistakes in the past, and right now who you are, or who, you know, the person that you're holding a grudge against maybe, they may not be the same person that they used to be. Like, yes, physically they're the same person, but emotionally they may have matured, and they may have like repented or, you know, asked for forgiveness or something like that. And so be more mindful and recognize that like we all have made mistakes in the past. You know, nobody's perfect, and sometimes forgiving yourself or forgiving, you know, another person if need be can actually just be the best thing for everybody involved. This also could be healing yourself through meditation. Since we do have mindful here, meditation could be a really useful tool for you. I think it's useful for everybody, but especially if you chose this pile 2. All right, pile 2, what chakras do you need to heal? We have the crown chakra here with instinct. Instinct. Interesting. It might be that you're having issues trusting or forgiving somebody because your instinct is wounded. So it might be that somebody hurt you in the past and it kind of is making you feel like you can't trust them. But if in this present moment and like they have, a more recent track record of doing better, and that could be you as well, then you can try and forgive that person. We have the root chakra here with soulmate. So this could be somebody that you love that you need to forgive. It could be that it's making me think of that Lizzo song where she's like, I'm my own soulmate, I know how to love me. So you might just need to forgive yourself. Maybe you made a mistake in thinking that somebody was your soulmate, and like you had an instinct feeling that they were your soulmate in the past, and maybe it didn't work out. And so you're kind of trying to forgive yourself for doing that, and maybe forgive this person for hurting you, and you're just kind of trying to like be more present now instead of thinking so much about the past. There are a lot of different scenarios. This is a general reading for a lot of people, so there's a lot of different scenarios that can come up when we do these kinds of things, but that is just one that came to my mind. Finally, we have the throat chakra here with vanity. Vanity is interesting. You might be saying things that are, not the nicest. It could also be that like somebody was really vain in the past and like you don't want to forgive them for that. That could be you also as well. It could be the idea of like being embarrassed by certain things that you've done in the past, or that somebody did to you in the past, and kind of like not being able to move past that. And especially if this is like a situation of embarrassment, then being mindful is going to be really, really helpful. Like if something embarrassed you, maybe nobody else even remembers it. Maybe it happened so long ago. Maybe it was very trivial. I know we can often get embarrassed by like little things. It might even be that like nobody really cares about it except for you, Sometimes that happens to us. I'm about to light another incense stick. My incense just went out. So let's go ahead and do that. Thank you, Spirit, for all of the good, positive things that you bring into our life. May everybody here in Pile 2 with us be able to practice more mindfulness in their day-to-day life and to forgive those who need to be forgiven, including themselves. I always like to say a little prayer when I do my incense because I really truly believe that fire is very magical, and so I like to give it a direction and a purpose. All right, we have a lot of these messages here. You guys actually got the most messages here out of all of the piles for your Wild Offering Oracle. This is an oracle all about like kind of like letting go and giving everything to the divine. So let's see what we have to say. Let's start with this one. Oh my gosh, forgiveness. That's crazy. We got a double message here. Forgiveness, and that one says, healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. I just want to say that like when I pre-pull these cards, like I shuffle them just the same way that I would shuffle any other cards. You're going to see me shuffle these cards on camera. I shuffle them the same way. I don't manipulate this at all. So the fact that we got forgiving and forgiveness is like crazy double confirmation and very cool. We have impatience. My life is unfolding in divine timing. All delays are beneficial. I am always at the right place at the right time. So being at the right place at the right time is about mindfulness and being aware of the present moment. So we got a lot of kind of double messaging there as well. But sometimes like when we aren't ready to forgive someone, it's because we're being impatient that like we feel like they haven't come to us in the way that they should have come to us. Like they haven't come correct. Sometimes you have to forgive people who aren't even part of your life anymore. And you might never get an apology from them. So you can't sit around waiting for that. and being impatient about it. You kind of just have to forgive them for whatever it was that happened. Trust. I did say that like you might be having a hard time trusting your instinct. So we're getting lots of double messages. I'm loving this for you, pile two. Pile two being number 2 being double. We love that. All right, trust. When love is invited to take over, right actions arise at the right time. That's making me think of that song. There's a song by Franz Ferdinand, that band, called Right Action. I don't really know what that song is about, but it just made me think of that. Allow me, dear divine, to wait patiently until the timing is right. Let me rest in the unknown until a clear path is shown. That's again about being mindful, resting in the unknown. Yeah, just like understand that you are exactly where you need to be in this present moment, and like dwelling on the past or any mistakes that somebody else made in the past is like taking you out of that present moment. So just try and trust the universe that you are where you're supposed to be. We have make it God's. Release the idea of my. As soon as you start to say the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there's no grasping, the right actions, there we go again, right action, gets shown. Free me from the prison of my dear Lord. This is a vanity. Oh my God, you guys, this is so crazy. This is vanity. Like my, thinking about my, that's like a very vain way of thinking about the world. You have to kind of release it. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog. I think he hears another dog outside. Hardship. May I embrace what's happening right now, as baffling or as painful as it is. Help me, God, to trust where you are guiding me. I am yours. These colors are kind of the same in this card, so maybe there's a connection there. And then we have loneliness. When you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude. And that's when kindred spirits can finally come. So, yeah, this might have to do with you kind of forgiving somebody from your past. Like I said, maybe somebody who you thought was your soulmate. You might be a little bit lonely right now because you might have issues trusting people. But being lonely is not necessarily a bad thing. It does allow you to kind of spend more time with yourself and improve yourself. Be mindful in the present. Forgive everything that happened in the past so that the right people can come to you. So we're going to actually get our tarot cards out. I think I'm going to clear this table just because there's so much going on. These cards are so big. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. All right, pile 2, let's get into it with the tarot cards. These cards are enormous, so that is why I had to clear the table, because we wouldn't have been able to see the other cards anyway. But let's see. Spirit, what does pile 2 need to heal right now? These cards are so big. They're hard to shuffle. What does pile 2 need to heal right now? I think I might just have to cut the deck. Let's see. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Pile 2. What does pile 2 need to heal right now? All right, let's see. We got, this is Temperance. Here they're calling it the Guardian Angel, the Temperance card. We also got, ooh, the Lovers. This is the Hansel and Gretel card. That's weird. Because they're definitely brother and sister, but okay. We have Death with the Sleeping Beauty. That's interesting. You guys so far have gotten all major arcana cards. Wild. Interesting. Let's see. Anything else? Yes. We have, oh, another, this is Alice, what they're calling Alice in Wonderland. This is the Wheel of Fortune here. This is so weird. You guys are getting all major arcana cards. This is like a huge, huge, huge deal. You absolutely have to do this. Well, you don't have to do anything, but in order to move forward, this is like very strongly encouraged. We got the 8 of Cups here. Anything else? Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let's see if I can rearrange these cards to actually fit well on the table. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, cool. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that we have the 4 of these are major arcana cards, and then we have this one 8 of Cups here. The 8 of Cups is always about walking away from something and walking away so that you can grow and mature. Okay, so definitely like the forgiveness vibes are super, super strong with this pile. We have this idea of like moving on, of coming to terms and being at peace with something. Like temperance is also a card about patience, and we earlier got that card about impatience, right? So this is about learning to be more patient with people and understanding that like not only is everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days. I believe that Hannah Montana said that. Yes, I think so. It's either Hannah Montana or Lizzie McGuire. One of those two. I'm pretty sure it was Hannah Montana. Sorry, guys. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody has those days. And what we can do is we can be patient and understand that like everybody's still growing. No matter how old you are, everybody's still growing. They're learning. And oftentimes they're doing the best that they can. Of course, that might not always be true. If somebody's like being mean just to be mean, maybe they're not doing the best that they can. But maybe that's like all they could give at that time. You really never know what goes on behind closed doors and what has happened in people's pasts to like make them the way that they are. Not that that's an excuse for anybody to like be a mean or terrible person, but you can always be the bigger person and like rise above that. So definitely I'm getting those vibes here. We do have the Lovers here, so this, and we also got the Soulmate card previously, so this could be about a past relationship where somebody kind of like did you wrong. You might have thought that it was fated. You might have thought that you guys were meant to be together and you were like a perfect fit, but it ended up not working out because we do have the Death card here with Sleeping Beauty. And so I kind of just think that when something doesn't work out, it's usually for a reason. It's pretty much always for a reason. And rejection is redirection. Rejection is God's protection. So if it didn't work out, you should actually be grateful for that because something better is coming for you. We did get earlier in one of those cards like about loneliness, how you're actually making space for like the right people to come into your life. And so with the Wheel of Fortune here, and all these cards are in the upright, we don't have any reversals, we don't have any blocked energy. With the Wheel of Fortune here, your wheel is turning in a positive direction. All you have to do is forgive this person and like finally walk away from this connection. So I think that you have the strength to do it. I truly believe in you. It can be a lot harder sometimes, to walk away from something than we want to. And this doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be, like I said, like embarrassing moments from your past that you're kind of still hanging on to. Sometimes it's hard to let those things go. But again, like if everybody else has moved on, why don't you just move on too? I think that that's for the best. And honestly, this is like a much shorter message than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to get you guys something that I didn't do for pile 1, but I'm going to get you guys some, because I love myself, healing messages of love from your soul to yourself. And I'm going to get these because, like I said, for some people this might be like remembering things that you did in the past, and it could be kind of hurtful for you to remember those things. So it might be good for you to hear some healing messages. What kind of healing messages does pile 2 need to hear? We've got small moments matter. I take time to stay still, open my heart, and appreciate the multitude of beautiful moments I encounter. As I do this, my happiness rises to meet me more and more. That is exactly echoing that mindfulness card that we had earlier. You guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy how we just get all these like double confirmations all the time. What else does pile 2 need to hear? What other healing messages? We've got a couple here. We have self-reflection. I look into my eyes and see the truth of who I am in my soul. I share all I love about myself to that soul within the mirror, a reflection of my true self. That's making me think of the Soulmate card that we got earlier as well. And then we have delightful movement. I move in healthful ways each day. A short walk, a dance to music I love, a swim within the ocean's cleansing beauty. We have that literally in this card right here. Look at that. They're swimming. They're mermaids. Sorry, guys. They're mermaids. They're swimming. I appreciate and support the wonder of my physical being. So sometimes one of the best ways to be mindful is to do like a physical activity. It can really take your mind off of, all of like the BS that's going on around you or that's going on in your head. And if you're like exerting yourself to like, not to a point where you hurt yourself or anything, but like to where you can't like think about anything else. For example, I like to do hot yoga, and part of the reason why I like to do hot yoga is because the heat in the room makes it hard to think about anything else. Like I'm just thinking about the poses and like getting through the class, right? Sometimes people like to go on a run because it clears their mind, right? So something like that, whatever your thing is, that can end up being really good for you. So yeah, let's see, were there any other messages that came through? Yep, here's one. Satisfaction. In this moment, I am whole and complete. I need be no more than who I am right now. I am satisfied with myself. All right, so these are your healing messages. I am super excited for you guys because this is like going to be a major turning point in your life if you're able to do this. Oh, there's actually one more here at the bottom of the deck. Cherish my history. This is making me think about those like embarrassing moments or feeling embarrassed or like kind of slighted by somebody that you loved. I cherish where I've been in my life. There is no part of my past that cannot be useful to me. Because of it, I am the person I love and appreciate so much today. So that just goes to show, like, just because something kind of poopy, sorry, I don't know if I'm gonna curse on this channel yet or not. Just because something kind of poop happened in the past doesn't mean that like it wasn't for the best. I did also already say like rejection is redirection and rejection is God's protection. So try and find the silver lining in whatever it is that happened. You know, you'll often be able to find one and it can help you to move forward. So that's going to be the messages that I have for you today. I'm going to see if any of our identifiers have any additional messages for you guys. Let's go ahead and grab them and let's see. Okay. Sorry, these are kind of messy. I don't normally take them off the table, but just because. Famous last words is definitely making me think of like, again, with the whole example of like something embarrassing that somebody said, it's making me think of like getting the last word in. An interesting experiment might be to like try and rewrite that memory almost, like to go in and like change what it is that you said, or like change the memory to be like, well, I got the last word, so who cares, right? I don't know if that works for anybody, but maybe it does. Who knows? All right. Good by Better Than Ezra. So this could have been like a situation with a roommate that you had, or like a live-in partner that like you felt like maybe they were meant to be together and it didn't really work out. Let's see. Any of these else speak to me. Yeah, definitely getting like that soulmate vibe again. American Horror Story Season 1, part of the plot in that, actually for both of the couples that come through in that season, we have like the mom and dad, and then the daughter has like a boyfriend. And the mom and dad, they're going through their own issues where the dad cheated and they had to kind of like rebuild their relationship. So the mom like totally lost trust in the dad, but they decided to, you know, stay together and move to an opposite side of the country to try and like see what they could do. And then the daughter, she gets into a relationship with somebody who just turns out to like not at all have the same kind of morals that she has. And it turns out to just be like, you know, a person who, if she had known what they had done in their past, like she never would have ever been with them. But circumstances have changed, and I'm not saying that she should have forgiven that guy. If you've seen season 1, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But, you know, people are not always the same people who they were in the past. So just a thing. We used to be friends by the Dandy Warhols. You know, sometimes like when you stop being friends with somebody, that pain can hurt for a really long time. And it could be worth forgiving that person, just so that you can move on and like find the right people for you, right? Even here with this Drew Barrymore song, she says like, lonely enough to let you treat me like this. You don't have to accept negative treatment from anybody even if you are lonely. That's not something that you have to do. Like, you need to look out for something real. We have Give Me Something Real here. Look out for that real friendship. Look out for that real love, right? You can find it. I know that you can. It might be a little hard, but we've got Las Vegas here. Sometimes you just have to take a risk. Sometimes you have to take a gamble and, you know, talk to somebody new or forgive somebody for something that you never thought you were going to forgive them for. But overall, these are going to be the messages that I'm getting here for you. I'm actually going to say something else about Sookie Stackhouse. She is one of the most forgiving characters I have ever read in my entire life. She's constantly forgiving Bill for all kinds of stuff. She, you know, sometimes I'm like, Sookie girl, it's okay to hold a grudge, but she's a very forgiving person, and maybe it's not okay to hold a grudge. I think holding grudges are kind of like that saying that they have where, like, if you are like hating somebody, you're drinking the poison and expecting them to die, or whatever it was. I don't know the exact quote, but that rings very true for me right now. So, you know, you can't go around, you got that haterade, right? Sipping on the haterade, because it's like drinking poison and hoping that the other person dies. It's not going to work. All right, guys. Oh, I do have piano here. It reminds me of like this idea of getting played. Like, maybe you feel like somebody played you. But yeah, just know that you're really special. God spent a little extra time on you. They have a line in there that's like, God broke the mold when they made you. So just know that you are unique, and you're going to find what it is that you're looking for, but you have to let go of whatever this is that you're holding on to, and you have to forgive yourself, forgive these other people, and move on, and you'll find your tribe. You'll find the right people for you. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun together. Whenever you do move on, you're going to have all kinds of great times. You're going to travel. You're going to go maybe to LA. You might go to London. You might visit some rooftop pools. You might go to different countries. It might be like a group of 6 people, something like that. It could be anything. But yes, I am super excited for you, but you just have to let this go. Got to let it go. Got to practice your mindfulness and just staying in the present. And that will attract these new people to you. New love, new friendships, all the good stuff. Thank you so much for being here, Pile 2. I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you made it all the way to the end. You can put a little clock emoji, and I will see you later. If you want to give any explanation as to like what you're going through, I always love to read your comments. So yeah, thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye. Welcome, welcome, Pile 3. If you chose the Hermetic Tarot, this is going to be your tarot reading. I am actually going to put these to the side. At first, I want to get our identifiers out, and that will let you know if this reading is, in fact, for you. If you've been to my TikTok, you know that this is something that I like to do. We've got all kinds of slips in here. Spirit, please show us who's here in Pile 3. Some of these should be resonant for you. They should be, you know, they should come up in your life recently. Let's see. Pile 3. Who's in Pile 3? What are the identifiers for Pile 3? Pile 3, please, Spirit. Alright. Anybody else in Pile 3? Oh, anything else? Alright. That's it. Let's see. Who do we have here in Pile 3? We've got Satsuma. I think that's like a type of orange or something. Maybe that's like the name of a restaurant or something. Maybe it's like a candle, like a Satsuma candle or Satsuma flavored something. Karaoke. Maybe you really like karaoke. Maybe you go to karaoke often, or you like to do karaoke at your house. We've got The Climb by Miley Cyrus. It's the climb. That's that song from the Hannah Montana movie. We've got Kiki's Delivery Service. That is a movie. It's an animated movie about a little witch girl. We've got No Frauds by Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Wayne. It's a song. We've got, and I just wanted to say Young Money. Interesting. We got Boys in the Hood. That is a movie based in Los Angeles. Lawrence Fishburne is in there. He plays the dad. And then we've got Evermore by Taylor Swift, featuring Bon Iver. Maybe You're a Swiftie. We've got Randall Park. He was the dad on Fresh Off the Boat. Interesting that I mentioned dads twice. It's weird. Okay. He's an actor. He's also, you also may have seen him in Always Be My Maybe. He was the male actor in that one, male lead. We've got the number 3, so that could be March. It could be the 3rd. It could be like 3 o'clock. Maybe you're seeing 333, stuff like that. You could be one of 3 children, something like that. We have Death Cab for Cutie here. That's a band. And then we have, I want to say that the lead singer of this band is Ben Gibbard. I don't know, maybe if that's significant for somebody. Maybe your name is Ben or something. Maybe your initials are BG. I don't know. We've got The Good Place, which is a TV show starring Kristen Bell. All right, cool. And a couple other people. Interesting. All right, so those are our identifiers. At least one of those should be resonant for you. If not, that doesn't mean this is not your reading. You could check the other piles, but that's just something that I like to do because, sometimes people will like sit through a whole reading and be like, oh, this doesn't really, resonate with me. Well, at least one of these should resonate with you, and that will let you know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the table. We're going to get into our cards. Yay! All right, pile 3, we have these cards that are pre-pulls. I've got some emotions cards here for you. I have some chakra cards, and then we have some guidance from the Wild Offering Oracle. And after we do those, that's when we will get into our tarot. So what do you need to heal, pile 3? Let's see here. Emotions that would be helpful for you to explore during your healing. We have sorry. So there may be some feelings of regret or feeling sorry for something. It says, I know what I did was wrong and I'm sorry. This may also have to do with forgiveness of somebody else who maybe has expressed an apology. We have happy. I smile, I laugh, I bounce. Interesting. So this could also be trying to find happiness again after having done something that you know was wrong. Or it could be like you might have done something that you knew was wrong and you're still kind of feeling happy and you're not really sure how to reconcile those emotions. We have shameless. Ooh, yeah, that definitely goes with what I just said. We've got shameless here. Do what I want, say what I want. So yeah, I'm really feeling that vibe of maybe you said or did something to someone and it might not have been the best thing to do, but you're not feeling too bad about it, and maybe you're trying to reconcile your feelings there. That is possible. I'm gonna light a candle for us here. Got this white candle that we're gonna use for whatever kind of wish. I just lit it, whatever wish that you have for this candle. This could be a manifestation candle, it could be a healing candle, it could be whatever it is that you want it to be, but I'm going to go and put it, I have this little candle holder right here. I'm going to put it in there for us. So yeah, give me just a second on that. All right, we have victim here. So this could be that you victimized somebody. You could be the victim and maybe somebody owes you an apology, but I'm kind of getting that maybe you did something that maybe you shouldn't have done. And you know what? We do things sometimes. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I have here limerent. So this is feelings of being meant to be together with somebody and very high and low sort of energy where you really feel like you and this person were meant to be, but maybe you don't have that deep of a history with them. Maybe you don't really know them that well. Limerent feelings are ones where you have a feeling about someone, you have a very super intense crush, but you kind of have more of a crush on the idea of this person than the actual reality of them. So yeah. And then we have here toxic shame. It says flawed, defective, a failure. All right, so yeah, I'm kind of getting the idea that you could have victimized somebody. It could have been somebody who you had a crush on, or maybe this person victimized you. maybe somebody has tried to apologize, or maybe somebody needs to apologize. That could be you or this other person, but I'm definitely getting like there's something that has to do with this other person that you kind of need to heal so that you can move past. There could have been some really shameless behavior, and I'm kind of getting like manic depressive energy here as well, with like all of this like shameless and then toxic shame, right? Because when you're shameless, you're kind of like, well, whatever, you know, like they say here, I do what I want and I say what I want. But then when we have toxic shame, we have the flip side of that, where like you feel like a failure. So we get like manic depressive energy here for sure. That's not to say that it's like has to be anything diagnosed necessarily, but I think everybody can have that energy at times. All right, in terms of our chakras that need healing, we have the third eye chakra here with mysticism. I know a lot of people who end up with limerent feelings towards somebody else will often feel like I said, we're meant to be together. They might feel like, you know, time and the cosmos brought us together and all this stuff. And like, you may not really know this person as well as you think that you do. In this story, all of these chakra cards have stories behind them. In this story, I'm pretty sure it's one where like somebody's throwing a party and they have only like a few people who are invited, and then they get a phone call like before the party where this person is like, hey, you know, I'm super excited to come to your party tonight. And she's like, okay, well, I don't really know you. Like, did one of my guests invite you? And the person like doesn't respond that their guest was invited them. And they like, I guess they show up to the party. I don't really know. I don't remember. I'm going to have to look up the story, I guess. But, in the storybook, like in the book that comes with this deck, it didn't come off as creepy. It came off as like a mystical experience, but in the way that I just told it, it definitely comes off as creepy. So I think limerent behavior can kind of be like that too, where like you might not mean to be creepy about this person, but you just kind of are. So yeah, okay. We have the heart chakra here with wisdom. I don't remember what that story is about. I can look it up and see if it is helpful. But you have to, your heart definitely knows things. Your heart has some neurons in it. The neurons are brain cells. And so your heart knows things. So you do have to kind of sometimes follow your heart. But you also have to do it in a healthy way. And then we have here the third eye chakra again with despondence. So again, with the kind of like manic depressive energy here, like wisdom is a very positive ideology, and then despondence is a lot sadder one. I actually am going to read the stories from these cards. I haven't done that in any of the other piles, but each pile is different. So you guys need a little extra love with these chakra cards. So yeah, this comes from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. There's a guidebook that comes with it. Let's go ahead and see what mysticism said and see if I got that story right. I hope I did. All right, yeah, okay. So this says a woman named Aubergine. You are not to know. The legend, that's the story. A woman named Aubergine calls on the telephone to confirm that she will be with us tonight, yet no woman named Aubergine has been invited. Of the 4 invited, 2 are wed and 2 are unknown to each other, a woman and a man. Surely, if this mysterious woman were the guest of the man, she would have made it known. Question mark? A woman approaches, the woman named Aubergine, the woman who, quote, will be with us tonight. Interesting. I'm going to leave that there. There are some other things that they have in here, but I'm not going to read those. I might read the key ideas. Key ideas here with this card are ignoring signs, unknown motivation, intuitive knowing, like we have with this heart wisdom card here, fear of the unknown, and journey. All right, so like I said, it sounds a lot less creepy in the way that they tell it in the story, but it sounded pretty creepy in the way that I told it. So you might think something's like normal, but it turns out it's not normal, okay? My camera battery died. Oh, I lost my book, but I found it again just as soon as I said that. Okay, so card number 2 from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle was wisdom. Oh, I just said wisdom twice. Interesting. All right, so let's see. we have the story here, and it's called Sage. Wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. The story says, one day a young sagebrush asks his grandfather how to grow old with wisdom. The elder answers, we must learn from our mistakes. Before you worry about something, ask yourself if it will be important in the future. Enjoy your present form as we all change with time. That's interesting because we got kind of a similar message in pile 2, but we didn't get this card. Inspiration says, is there some wise counsel that you've sought only to ignore it? Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those who are more experienced than yourself. Personal inquiry asks, do I go with my heart or against it? Am I ready to live in leadership? We have the key ideas of wise counsel, focused energy, honoring yourself, contribution, being chosen, contentment, and transformation. All right, so this idea of like going with the wisdom of your elders and then also like going with the wisdom of your heart and like knowing what to do but kind of going against it. Sometimes we show up in places where we're not meant to be, or we show up in places where we're not necessarily wanted. This is definitely giving like unrequited love kind of energy a little bit. And we might see that even more with the despondence. So let's see what that one says. The third eye chakra, despondence. This one is called Violet Iris. By taking action, I found the road out. Iris is depressed and unable to look after herself or her home. She cries out to the great spirits for help. Mother Earth appears and suggests Iris shower, eat a good meal, and clean up her house. She does, but still feels despondent. Suddenly, a hurricane hits, and Iris springs into action to rescue her neighbor's children. In the urgency, Iris finds the way out of depression by taking action. Iris teaches us that the only route out of stagnation is motion. If we do nothing, we must accept the consequences. So the personal inquiry is asking you, in which part of my life am I feeling immobilized? I know that whenever we feel shame, it can really make us feel like we have nowhere to go, especially when we're in like a victim mentality. And when we're limerent too, it can be hard to move on from a limerent relationship or a limerent ideology. Am I willing to trust myself? So when you are in a limerent state, it can be very difficult to move into like a trusting relationship because you might have a lot of feeling like you and this person are meant to be together, and then you kind of find out that you're not. And so you might have a hard time trusting yourself. And some of the things that you did in the name of this relationship, like you might have felt at the time were justified, and now you kind of feel really shameful about them. Key ideas here are feeling helpless, acceptance of circumstances, change on the horizon, and taking action. So especially when it comes to limerence, you kind of just have to accept, especially if the other person like just does not like you, or like I said, they might not even really know who you are. You might have made the relationship out to be a lot more than what it is. Sometimes with limerent relationships, you might have only seen or spoken to the person, a couple of times, and you just kind of got fixated on them. So you have to kind of just like ask yourself, like, is this really what I think it is? Am I willing to trust myself? You have to learn how to trust yourself again, even if something didn't work out the way that you thought it was going to. So for your helpful guidance and healing, we have 2 cards. We have compassion. It says, as you pray each day for greater compassion, a new self is born, drawing new people and experiences. Dear Lord, help me feel ever-deepening self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. Interesting. And then we have confidence here. Divine confidence is completely different from the bravado of the ego. You make space for something larger to take hold. Please fill me with your confidence, O love. Grant me courage I never knew I had. This is definitely giving me like the confidence to move on and move forward, but this card here, the shameless card and the confidence card, are giving kind of similar energy when you like think about the face here. This face is like one of somebody who's very confident, right? But I think when your shamelessness turns into toxic shame, you have to be compassionate with yourself. Like, even if we just look at these cards here, there's a big theme of like going from some really high places to some really low ones, right? Like we have high to low here, high to low here, right? So I think you have to be compassionate with yourself when things like that arise for you. Okay, so I'm going to get our tarot cards out now. I think I'm going to clear the table, and I'm going to leave space just for the tarot cards. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, pile 3, it is tarot time. What does pile 3 need to heal? Spirit, what is it that pile 3 needs to heal? Let's see. All right, so right now we have 8 of Swords, so that is some insecurity. In this deck, it says Lord of Shortened Force. We also have the Star in reverse. It's talking about a loss of hope. They call that one the Daughter of the Firmament. We also have the 6 of Swords. That's making a plan, traveling, carrying out a plan. We have the Princess of Pentacles. That's the Page of Pentacles here. They call that the Princess of the Echoing Hills. This deck has some fun names to it. We've got the Princess of Wands. That's the Page again. So we've got 2 pages. So there's definitely some immaturity here that's holding you back, with 2 pages here in reverse back to back. And we also have that 8 of Swords. So we did get that card about the limerence, which is very much like a kind of like a schoolgirl crush, schoolboy crush kind of energy here. We've got the Sun. So I do see that this can turn around for you for sure. The Sun is a very positive card. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, interesting energy, and the 5 of Wands in reverse. So I do think that like you have the tendency to be probably more cheerful and to have kind of like a positive outlook on a lot of things when maybe the situation itself is like not that great. With the Wheel of Fortune here, that's the 10 in the major arcana. We also just got the Ace of Pentacles, so I do see a new opportunity coming up for you. That could be a new job, a move, like some free time all of a sudden. And then we also have the Death card here. So something is ending as something else begins. And with the kind of like immaturity here, I'm definitely seeing this as an opportunity for you to really grow up in a lot of ways. The Ace of Pentacles is the most practical. It's the most practical ace in the deck. And I think that you might actually kind of start to see things for what they really are, especially with the 5 of Wands here. That is about removing distractions and, you know, getting over a sense of like competition. You might kind of feel like you've lost the battle, so to speak, and it's time to move on. Okay, so healing, you have a lot of healing to do when it comes to your maturity. And that's not like me trying to be mean. I know that that might come off a little bit mean or rude. We have the 4 of Swords here, which is a really good card to kind of end things on as far as the card pulls. If I need to get more, I will. But you need to kind of just learn how to rest and how to chill and how to let things come to you, to recognize when something is over and when your energy as far as like trying to force something to move forward is not required. Okay, this Wheel of Fortune here is labeled on the bottom Lord of the Forces of Life, and that's here in reverse. So you can't force something. You can't force somebody to like you. You can't force somebody to love you. You can't force somebody to be with you if they don't want to be with you. You can't force a meeting to happen. And we also have here Lord of Shortened Force with the 8 of Swords. Yeah, that idea of like trying to force something is like super, super heavy in this energy. I'm even thinking about that card we had, the Mysticism card from the Chakra Oracle with the story about the lady who like called about coming to the party, like you can't force something like that. You know, this could have been a friendship that you really wanted. It could have been a relationship that you really wanted. It could have been a job that you really wanted. Once you heal that and you let it go, something amazing is going to come in with this Ace of Pentacles here. It's going to be really, really, really good opportunity is about to come to you once you let that go and stop trying to force everything. Okay. This new opportunity could involve travel. It could involve like future plans that you have been hoping to make. But at the same time, it's going to limit some of your other options, okay? That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think sometimes when we have too many options, we kind of don't know what to do with them, and we get kind of like a choice paralysis situation. Yeah. So I'm also getting like with whoever this person was that you were really into, you guys were just not a good match. With the Princess of Pentacles and the Princess of Wands here in reverse, you guys were just not a good match for each other. If you were, they would have been upright, okay? That's why it didn't work out. That's why nothing ever happened with it. That's why it didn't go anywhere, because at the end of the day, the match was not there. So I think you need to forgive yourself for some of the things that you did in the name of this connection, trying to get it to move forward. We did have like that shameless and then the toxic shame card. So some of the things that you did, or maybe this could be like somebody did this to you. Maybe somebody had a limerent feeling towards you and you kind of have to forgive them. That is not going to be for everybody. But you have to just recognize that like when things come to an end, it's for the best, and it's good to take time to just like rest and heal, okay? Even if this new opportunity does kind of like limit some of your other options, I think it's still going to be good for you because it's going to be very, very healing. The Four of Swords is a card about kind of like relaxing, getting over a time of sickness or illness, and this could also be about seeing a therapist. This could be about going to talk to someone, finding somebody to talk to who can help you to move past some of these issues that you may have had with this other person, which whenever we have limerent feelings, they usually stem from some sort of like trauma that people have had when they were a child, about maybe like not getting enough attention, or dealing with a lot of like childhood loneliness or something like that. So, you know, that's not to say that that was your issue or anything like that, but it can often turn into like an obsessive kind of love for someone who may or may not even know that you exist. So you have to kind of like learn what is acceptable behavior and what's not acceptable behavior. And I'm not saying this to like be mean to anybody. I hope that you're not taking it that way. But sometimes we do things without realizing that they are coming off as creepy to the other person. And it actually is reminding me of, I don't know if you guys ever saw, How I Met Your Mother, but there's one episode where they talk about like Dobler versus Dahmer. Dobler is supposed to be like Lloyd Dobler. I think that's the character from the movie High Fidelity. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe it's from Say Anything. I don't remember. It's somebody played by John Cusack. And Dahmer, of course, is Jeffrey Dahmer, who was like a serial killer. So they were saying like, you can do something and the way that the other person perceives it can make you either a Dobler, which is like cute, charming, doing anything to get the girl, or it can make you seem like a Dahmer, which is like really creepy and serial killer energy. And sometimes it has to do with how attractive you are. Sometimes it has to do with how charming you are. Sometimes it has to do with just like how the other person met you, or like where you guys come across each other. It can do with a whole bunch of different things. So sometimes you may not realize that you're being creepy or like over the top with your affection or your attention that you're giving someone, but like maybe you are. So with the Four of Swords, like that is coming to a new realization about how dynamics work. and kind of reframing your mind state and figuring out, again, like what's okay and what's not. What makes you a Dobbler and what makes you not a Dahmer. All right, so I think that it's time for us to check into our slips and see if there's any additional hidden messages there. I like to bring these back at the end sometimes just to see if they have anything to say. Evermore by Taylor Swift and Bon Iver. She talks about how she wants them to like be together forever. I actually want to go look up those lyrics just because I really feel like they are going to be really relevant, because he says something too. Bon Iver says something in that song, and it's coming up. Let me see. I really love that song, actually. So she says, Gray November, I've been down since July. Motion capture put me in a bad light. So it's already this idea of like somebody not seeing you the way that you want them to see you, right? Being put in a bad light. It could have been something embarrassing that you did. It could have been something shameless that you did that turned into a toxic shame. But this idea of like not being perceived in the way that you want to be perceived. She says, I replay my footsteps on each stepping stone, trying to find the one where I went wrong. Writing letters addressed to the fire. Okay, so in this song, you know, she's writing letters that she never intends to mail, but I'm also kind of like taking it as like writing or giving so much attention to somebody who like is never gonna respond to you. Okay, so yeah, if you haven't heard this song Evermore by Taylor Swift featuring Bon Iver, definitely go look it up. It's very good. But he says in his little part, can't not think of all the cost and all the things that will be lost. Oh, can we just get a pause? That's that Four of Swords energy here of the pause. To be certain we'll be tall again. Whether weather be the frost or the violence of the dog days, I'm on waves out being tossed. Is there a line that I could just go cross? So yeah, this idea of like crossing the line, but also recognizing that like you can get back to a place where you feel tall again, where you're proud of yourself again, and you're not stuck in that toxic shame. Okay, I really, really want you guys to understand that like limerent relationships can happen to the best of people, and it is deeper than just a crush. It is like a very all-consuming thing that can take years off of somebody's life. You know, you could end up really, really focusing on this person for a really, really long time, you know? And you don't want that to be you. If it already has happened to you, like you need to just let this new opportunity and this death come in. You have to recognize that you and this person were probably not compatible at all, and that's why it just didn't work out, okay? You cannot force anything. Taylor Swift says, and when I was shipwrecked, I thought of you. In the cracks of light, I dreamed of you. It was real enough to get me through, but I swear you were there. Okay? So this is like this person was not there with her. She's like, I swear you were there, but this person really wasn't there. And like she said, I dreamed of you to get me through. You know, I did all of these things. I made all of this stuff up, but it turned out like it just wasn't true. Okay? So yeah, that song, I'm like, my heart is like aching a little bit. My heart is a little bit sad right now. Because I do know how that feels, and I'm not judging anybody who's been here through this situation. I know how it feels, but you can get past it. You just have to accept the truth. And the Six of Swords here is like a card about finding the truth. Okay, in some decks, the Six of Swords is called science, and you know, with science, people do experiments and they record their observations, and the experiment has to be repeatable so other people can do the same experiment and see if they get the same results, right? Because they're trying to find the truth of the situation. They're trying to find out like what are like the laws of physics, for example. And I think you're trying to, or you're finally recognizing the truth. And the truth is like the situation has been forced. The situation doesn't have any hope left in it. And you guys were not compatible. And once you realize that, like the sun is going to come out and you're going to try and like move forward. and this new opportunity is going to be really great. So you have to heal your relationship with this person. The Good Place, the TV show, in that, like the whole first season, I'm not trying to do any spoilers, but that show's been out for a really long time. They think that there's one place and turns out they're in the totally opposite place. So they think they're somewhere and turns out they're somewhere else. Just like how Taylor was saying in the Evermore song, like, I could have sworn you were there. But like this person was not there. Okay? Yeah. Let's see. Are there any others that I really want to... Oh, no frauds, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Wayne. Just like the idea of this whole relationship being fraudulent. And just not real. Just being fraudulent. Kiki's delivery service. There is like a boy in this movie who has a really big crush on Kiki. They actually are friends, but like he thinks, I think at one point, that they're like gonna go out on a date or something, and she's like, no, we're just friends. Like, she's like, I didn't realize this was a date. I thought we were just like friends. Okay, so yeah, again, like just an idea of like somebody thinking that the relationship is something that it's not. So yeah, it's okay, you know, this kind of stuff happens to people, but you just have to be able to move past it. But I know you're strong enough to do it. I know that you can do it and like find this new opportunity. You are strong enough to move on. But if you haven't heard the song Evermore by Taylor Swift, go listen to it. It might be a healing experience for you. But thank you so much for listening in. If you made it all the way to the end of this, then you can put a boat emoji down in the comments. If you want to share your story with the rest of the collective, I love to read your comments, and I know that they really can be helpful to other people as well who are going through the same thing as you. But yeah, I absolutely appreciate you being here with me. I love you, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, night, or evening whenever you're watching this. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Thank you so much. Bye.